I'm scared something's happened to him. I don't know what. I don't know if he's hurt my granddaughter or if he's hurt them both or what. I'm just scared.
Little Haley's devastated grandma, terrified her own child and granddaughter could be hurt by sex offender Robbie Potter. The three have been on the run from law enforcement for almost a month now. Tonight, cops issue a missing child alert for little Haylee, but will it help bring her home, or is it too late? We pray not. The phone line's lighting up. Stephanie, Tennessee, your question or thought, ma'am?
Yes, I just had a comment. I hear a lot of people making statements that the mother is involved in this somehow, but my question is, do we know for sure that she knows he's a threat to her child? Because he could have lied and said it was a statutory rape or something that wasn't involving a young child.
Well, let's go to Matt Bruning, the reporter at WTFN, who's been tracking the case.
Well, you know, the latest information we had was that, yes, she was aware of his past. In fact, her brother has a similar record of some sex offenses, and that is the connection to Robbie Potter, we understand. So, yes, the indication we've gotten from authorities is that there is some understanding as to his past, talking of Robbie Potter's past there.
And, Matt, that's pretty crazy, given that he has served time for a sexual battery on 2 young girls, and the reports I've read, although there's been some discrepancy, is that there were ages 7 and 9.
Yeah, we've heard 7 to 9. I've heard 10 and 11. So there has been some discrepancy on the age either way.
Either way,
Young victim.
I mean, this is, Curtis, this is sick stuff, a mother taking off. And let me, before I get to you, Curtis, let me add one other little element here, and the element is drugs. I talked to Candace's mom one-on-one when I sat in for Nancy Grace. Listen to this. Didn't she have an addiction, though? Didn't she have some drug problems?
She was on crystal meth at one time. She's been doing real well. She was planning on going to school. She never knew at the beginning what this man was about.
I certainly have sympathy for the grandmother and didn't want to embarrass her, but the fact is we need to know what the situation is. She admits her daughter was a crystal meth user at one time. So, Curtis, that does contribute to the mindset, does it not?
Let me tell you something, Jane. This is giving me a migraine headache. I'm getting nauseous hearing, oh, there's nothing we can do. We can't call an Amber Alert. You have told us, Jane, that these two, this mother, who's a tweaker, a meth head, and this sexual assaulter, who's a pedophile, have had this child for a month, and we can't put out an Amber Alert because it doesn't meet every definition of the law. What is this mom going to turn around and sue the Amber Alert group? Absolutely not. Let's just do it and find this girl. And then if there are any ramifications, which there won't be, the entire population would applaud us using this
I would
system.
applaud, but Linda Spagnoli,
Okay.
you're the Amber Alert expert.
Let me just say, okay, this is, if an Amber Alert is issued, it activates the emergency alert system. That means broadcast is interrupted and it goes up on the road signs. In this particular case, that's not going to happen. What I would like to see happen is if there is a sighting of them in Colorado or in Arizona, and it's a credible sighting, what I would like to see is the state of Arizona or the state of Colorado be able to issue an Amber Alert at that point based on new information.
But why do you say it's not going to happen?
At this juncture,
I don't think it's going to happen, and I'll tell you why. Right now, an Amber Alert, it does not meet the criteria. And
Oh, we've been hearing that over and over.
Wait a minute.
but what about the fact that the grandmother's now obtained custody, and with the fact that the grandmother has custody and she has demanded the return of the child over whom she has custody, and that child hasn't been returned? Why can't we now treat it as an abduction?
Because when an Amber
The legal
Alert is
status
issued,
is now
it's issued.
changed.
It's issued from where the child was last seen. In this case, we don't know where the child was last seen. The child was last seen someplace.
Now,
Credible
listen,
or incredible
Linda,
reports.
okay, I hear you're saying it doesn't meet the criteria, but, you know, when I wrote my book, Secrets Can Be Murder, I interviewed you, and you told me all the ways that Amber Alerts help, and it's not just the billboard. I remember you telling me that the truckers have it in their CBs, and it goes on the internet, and it goes here and there and everywhere, and that's why the Amber Alert is so effective. I mean, it's not just the highway signs.
Jane, if I can interrupt for a second, you have to have some criteria in these cases because there are thousands of children that get missing. There's custodial interference. There's all kinds of reasons why kids are gone for a while. And before they set this process into motion, they have to be sure that there's an actual abduction. In this particular
Oh,
case,
come on, we
it's-
knew that
I'm
right
sorry,
off the
I
top.
didn't make the rules, and
We knew
perhaps it
that
could
off
be
the top.
different. But you got to stick with it the way it is because there's
I
so
don't
much
see
to do.
why. I don't see why. I mean, we knew this was a unique situation, and there's
It's not like they're not looking for this child. You have the FBI out there looking. They
But
have a
even more
card
importantly,
program.
even more,
You have
even,
missing person squads
Go
throughout the
ahead.
country looking. You have radio cars that are looking
The
for this
facts
car.
on the
Park
ground-
rangers, everybody's looking for the child.
the
And
facts on the ground were compelling enough to award custody to the grandmother. If there was not some feeling that the
Then you
child
show
was in
an
danger
abduction
and being
counselor.
put in danger by her mother, then that award of custody would not have been made.
We all
the
agree
child is
she's
the
in
grandmother's
danger.
The,
We agree with that.
grandmother
She
has
absolutely-
custody
she
of the
absolutely
child.
is
The
in
grandmother
danger.
has custody, and she's rewarded. She asked that the child be returned.
That's great, but the child has not been abducted unless we show later that the mother was involved with this guy and knew that he
I
was
guess the
abducting the
bottom
child.
line is, Mike, I get your point, but Remy Spencer, isn't there a way to structure this so that in these weird situations where the mom may not be a 100%, and maybe she is, I don't know if she's doing drugs now. Her mother said she was doing drugs in the past. She may be totally sober, but that if she's obviously making a really bad decision like this, she's not taking her kid to Disney World, she's taking her on a cross-country horror show, that somebody could step in.
I agree with you, Jane. I think we're going to see this mother slapped with child endangerment charges when this is all over. Even if, and hopefully she is, this little girl is going to be fine at the end of all of it.
Unless she
I think
becomes a
we're going to
witness
see a lot
against
of
Potter.
federal and state law enforcement authorities out looking for this.
Whatever.
If
Thank you, panel.